3 minutes of your time might change your life forever. Citizenship Invest present your gateway to the world.
As part of the continued effort to develop a more interactive and efficient approach to the processing of the Citizenship by Investment applications, a new system to electronically upload applications to the CIU has been developed. This system has been undergoing beta testing over the last few months, and our presence here today is for the official unveiling of the new Citizenship Application Management System, CAMS, and to hear presentations about how it will function. The government, the IPSA team, and the staff of the CIU have been working to continue to deliver improvements and to implement the IPSA recommendations outlined at the July 2015 Citizenship by Investment meeting held at the Ocean Terrace Inn. Therefore, without further ado, I would like to call on the Honourable Prime Minister to make a few remarks in relation to this process and where things stand today.
I want to thank Shauna Lake for chairing, presiding over this morning's session. As she attempted to outline, today is in fact an important day in the life of the Citizenship by Investment Unit for St. Kitts and Nevis. It is an important day as far as the agenda of reform and restructuring of the Citizenship Investment Unit is concerned. And we hope today signals the fresh start to an enhanced CIU, better customer services, an advanced management information system which is available to assist service providers 24 hours per day, 7 days per week. This case management system, we are advised, is the only one of its kind available in the region. Today we commit to a pathway to do what we are doing the best way we can. And we want to involve all interested parties in doing their best. The service providers, for example, are being urged to do a better job at previewing and reviewing their applications and establishing their own mechanisms for determining the quality of the applicants which they are submitting for consideration. At this time, we have at least 71 files within the unit approved and ready to go, but no memorandum of transfers have been received from the respective service providers. As a result, these files, of course, cannot be further processed. Service providers are at fault in this particular case, not the unit. Yet invariably, the unit gets the blame. We have moved to address the situation where the stakeholder who has escrow funds and utilizes them in ways not intended. The consequence of this is that they are unable to transfer the funds to the CIU to facilitate complete processing of applications. We have already put for the first reading a bill relating to escrow entitled the St. Christopher and Nevis Citizenship CBI Escrow Account Bill, and we encourage all involved to have a look at this particular bill, which will get its second and third reading by the next sitting of the Parliament. This, we hope, will hold escrow holders to account, protect the investor, and importantly, add credibility to this important program. We have a note of advice also for the developers who build inferior properties that add no enduring value to our landscape or seascape, and we say they are not in sync with the beauty and unique attributes that makes the physicality of St. Kitts and Nevis alluring. We want a fresh start with developments of awesome aesthetic beauty that transform our spatial layout by their sheer presence, their design, their sturdy structure, their color scheme, and of course, inherent quality. We want our citizenship program to be more than a passport exchange program. It is our unique way as a small country of meeting the challenges of development at this juncture by sharing our unique country, its culture, its vast potential to offer more than a serene, tranquil, and beautiful getaway to nationals of other countries. This is a getaway to our paradise island, not a getaway from jail for illicit actors. More than a getaway, our program offers a home and an alternative citizenship to others. We will not chance the reputation of St. Kitts and Nevis going forward for a mess of pottage monetized at US $250,000, nor for US $450,000. The citizenship is not for sale like black pudding and goat water on a weekend. It is our sacred and unique identity to the jurisdiction which we most naturally align and are allied to. It is part of our enduring connection to our land, our sea, our fellow citizens, and our culture. It is what makes our hearts sing the sweet refrain, even when our mouths are closed. Of all the lands, be they east or west, we love our land, our native land, St. Kitts and Nevis, the best. I am indeed grateful that many have caught on to this more ennobling view of our citizenship program, and we welcome the discerning investor with an enduring interest in making St. Kitts and Nevis the best place to live. We welcome the investor who wants to contribute to our education system, to enhancing our health care, and keep St. Kitts and Nevis safe, secure, and at all times prosperous. I am grateful for the support of many people, and I will not enumerate all who have helped, and indeed, some who have helped may not particularly like the idea of being mentioned today. And yet I say to them, my heart and my mind are at a good place of gratitude, and so I ask that you oblige me at least this once. I want to thank for their contribution and support as we make efforts to reform this program. Ambassador Constance Mitcham, who is here with us, could we give her a round of applause of acknowledgement? I add to the list Mrs. Shauna Lake at the head table, and thank her too, Mr. Farron Lawrence, Miss Natalie John Giuliani, Anthony Hayden, The Range, the CS Global, Scott Keynes, Henley and Partners, among many others, have offered constructive support, free advice, and recommendations which can make a difference. Of course, we know in the free market, not all would stand strong when the going got tough. Some took the easy way out. For example, to try out Antigua, that is okay too. And some have returned back to beautiful St. Kitts and Nevis, where the oldest and the best program still exists. Such are the vicissitudes of life. But we want all of you to know that we appreciate your contribution. We need you now, and we need you fully committed to partner with us moving forward. Today we welcome all our service providers, developers and agents to a new sense of activism and positivism on behalf of St. Kitts and Nevis. In spite of the cries of many that our citizenship program would not survive, the truth is, it is surviving. And I'm in a position now to report reliably that it is surviving and it is doing reasonably well in the context of the challenges which we face. Some of these challenges are well known. One, the loss of the Canadian visa-free access in November 2014. The consequence of this was brutal for the market in general and the Chinese market in particular. In May 2014, the US advisory and our CIU was a wake-up call that all was not well, and the inability of the bygone administration to reform the program to the satisfaction of those international players who matter most. 6 months later, after the US advisory, Canada followed in November. The United Kingdom and Europe were under pressure to follow suit. We know the consequence that that would have had for the program. Thankfully, the Team Unity administration acted deliberately to recalibrate relations with the USA, with Canada, and the EU. Second major challenge was the increased competition from Antigua and Barbuda. Not only did Antigua and Barbuda enter the market, but it entered it at highly discounted prices for its processing and other fees. Grenada, too, is offering a similar product under the CBI program. Dominica in the same market and has been there for some time. St. Lucia has now enjoined. All of our competitors have offered a cheaper product than St. Kitts and Nevis does. Third, the CIU had outgrown itself, and organizational reform and restructuring were imperative. Indeed, the evidence of that is there, in that IPSA International was in fact commanded and contracted to look at the program, and it outlined several significant areas for reform which ought to have been implemented immediately. Indeed, before IPSA came, in the end term of 2014, several other entities, including CS Global, including Henley and Partners, had indicated to the then administration that there was urgency for reforms in the program. One of the major revenue earner of the country in our Citizenship by Investment program at the end of 2014 was understaffed, had staff lacking in training, and more importantly, lacking in the culture of excellent customer service. We have rectified this, and the CIU, in our view now, is better organized and better managed. Thanks, of course, to our acting on the 20+ reform recommendations coming from IPSA, and in fact, which were widely endorsed by others. We are in the process now of restoring trust and confidence in this program. And in the last 8 months, not one public embarrassment has come to this program. Difficulties, and there have been some, are addressed through quiet diplomacy. So we have no more advisory, we have no more efforts by Canada, as it were, to press home the point about their dissatisfaction with the program. And interestingly, As the British representative said at one of the conferences we held hitherto, the United Kingdom government has been under tremendous pressure to follow suit, to follow the path of the USA and Canada. For 8 months, we have been able to hold them steady. That is an important achievement for this administration as we pursue quiet diplomacy. We want to commend the new members of staff who have come on board and who have been helping us to fulfill the basic requirements outlined in the recommendation for enhancing of the CIU unit. Our coming here is for you to learn more about this new case management system, which, if it were to work according to expectations, will help us to be the most efficient processor of citizenship applications, not just in the Caribbean, but hopefully in the world. I have some preliminary statistics and the performance of the CIU on the team unity. I can advise that we have 51 active service providers who have been submitting applications to the unit during the course of 2015. Among them, and I'm not going to name 51, Civis Consulting, Caribbean Governance, Henley and Partners, Grant Powell and Company, Theodore Hobson and Associates, and many of you here know that you are also part of that list of active providers of applications to the system. 28 of the 51 providers have submitted double-digit applications. Far from being dead, we still have one of the best CIU processing more application units per month than our regional competitors. And the statistics will be revealed at the next sitting of Parliament. But more importantly, the CIU continues to provide more revenues for this country than any other CIU in the region. This is an outstanding achievement for the team unity government and the success of our reform efforts to date. We have achieved this measure of success, and we are indeed humbled by it, in spite of the clear obstructionist efforts of some, in spite of active encouragement of some developers and service providers to boycott St. Kitts and Nevis to shock the program. Thank God, though a difficult challenge, we have had enough applications and business to keep us busy. And from the records available to us from the other jurisdictions, we are still number one. For the future, we can expect more discerning applicants, no more Mogadam, no more Porters, and no more Charles Edwards. Only legitimate applicants are welcome. We can expect greater cooperation with our allies in the interest of our common obligations to a safer world and to reduce illicit financial activities like money laundering and terrorism financing, to name just two. We can expect under the restructured program that other financing options and instruments will become available. We can expect that the SIDF will be reformed to enhance governance, accountability, and transparency. This work has already engaged two attorneys at home in dealing with recommendation, both policy and legislative changes to this particular program. Of course, once these are ready, they will be the subject of wider consultation. Our country will also attempt to diversify itself, its economy, to reduce the vulnerability and dependence, overwhelming dependence on CBI inflows. Diversification always is an important strategy. Never must we put all our eggs in one basket. The oldest and the best will again be a well-earned designation of the St. Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment Program. For the future, and from my introductory comments, you are aware that we will review the criteria and the licensing arrangements for service providers, developers, and agents. Equally for the future, the government will ensure that there is quality assurance mechanism as it relates to our real estate option. The future, of course, is all that we have to consecrate. And our successes to date point to progress ahead. We will not let up on our reform agenda, intended to keep our program always as the best. I end with a note of reminder. Team Unity is solid in its commitment to St. Kitts and Nevis. We will not let our country and our citizens down. Never again will the ordinary citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis lose out on privileges and benefits that they long enjoy, such as visa-free access to any country as a result of their government playing footloose and fancy-free with illicit actors participating in the program. And never again will a price be attached to our diplomatic passports, nor will we compromise on international best practices in our management of our passports. This is a Team Unity administration, and we did promise a fresh start and a better way. Never will we yield to those who believe that they can hold our government captive and our people ransom. We pledge to put always the national interest and the public interest first and foremost at all times. I hope that this particular consultation, which we are having today, would help you to better see the transformation that we have already made with our Citizenship by Investment Unit, and that you would join us in doing the very best you can to make not only that case management system work, but we accept a collective responsibility to make the citizenship program the best program available. Thank you very much for coming out in such large numbers, and thank you for your faith, your confidence, and your sticking to it in relation to our own citizenship program here in St. Kitts and Nevis. May God bless you. I thank you.
3 minutes of your time might change your life forever. Citizenship Invest present your gateway to the world. The Citizenship by Investment Program of St. Kitts and Nevis, established in 1984, is the oldest and most respectable program of this kind in the world. Its passport counts with multiple countries added to its visa-free travel list every year.
Thank you very much.